All right, let's try this one more time. 'Cause something definitely. All right. All right. I'm ready to get started. Come on, Nat. I'm ready to get started. Got a bunch of stuff to do tonight. We ain't gonna be on that long. Let me get some agua. All right. What a day, what a day, what a day. It has been a day, y'all. It's been a day, man. But it's time to get it in. It's time to get it in. We gotta get this, go ahead, get this stream cracking, you know. Once this get done, then we got a whole nother thing to do tonight. Then after that, we got one more thing to do tonight. It's gonna be a long night. It's gonna be a long night, but we are not gonna abandon our streaming responsibilities, okay? We gotta still get it in on this stream. So last night we had a bunch of fun. We got a lot of new people came through to the chat. So you know what I'm gonna do? Actually, I never promo these no more. I'm always forgetting to promo these, but Facebook is like literally my least. Oh, I actually got a Facebook viewer right now. That's crazy. That never happens. But what's up, Facebook? But it's like my least viewed channel of all the channels. So and you would think since they my real friends in real life that I would have more people over there than I would on the other places. But one of my homeboys who also does streaming, he was telling me like, nah, your main audience is never your friends. If anything, they'll come around just to say what's good, but odds are the stuff that you're talking about on your stream don't really resonate with them like that. So that makes sense. I can get that. I can get behind that. All right. Get started here. Go ahead, go through these rules real quick. Same rules apply as yesterday. Absolutely no doxing. If you don't know what doxing is, that's when you tell somebody's personal information on stream. So things about them personally, like their name, where they live, what city and state they're from, phone numbers, anything like that, instant ban. No swearing in the chat unless it's 9 o'clock or beyond. We do lift the no swearing rule at 9, but try and be cool when it's like early, like 7 o'clock. Who knows how old the audience is? I do promote this for everybody to join and learn from, so try and be conscious of that. Be nice to everybody, absolutely. Be nice to everybody. Show people the same respect that you want to be shown. Absolutely no work discussions, okay? Don't be coming in here bringing up your job. The most we'll talk about work is like, what do you do? What language do you code in while you at work? And stuff like that. But we never gonna get into like, where do you work? What's your role? What's your title? Like, we never get into stuff like that on this channel, so try and refrain from that. And then the most important rule of all, be ready to obey all of the class rules. So if we do got rules that we talk about, make sure y'all obeying those. Make sure y'all ready to obey those. Now, I do have a hard stop at 7:30. So we need to jump into these challenges ASAP so we can kind of see what we got to deal with today. And I need to come up with, you know what I need to do? I need to come up with some challenges for the challenge today, okay? So let me just see what we got. The books today. That's not too bad. All right, yeah, this ain't gonna be too bad actually. I'm okay with that. All right, so let's come up with a few challenges. All right, actually, let's do that together. We'll do that together. So I'm gonna flip over to the browser. All right, so oh, it did it again. No, it didn't. Okay, no, we good. We good. Okay. All right, so today's challenge is the recipe manager. So we got two challenges, both intermediate. One of them is super hard, okay? I'm not gonna lie, it's advanced. It's straight up advanced, just like the bookstore was advanced. But the intermediate challenge that we have, this one's called the recipe manager. And what it says is develop a recipe manager application using TypeScript where users can search for recipes, view the recipe details, and save their favorite recipes for later. Okay, so it's just like our bookstore, kind of. It's just like the other stuff. These managers, right? What they're trying to teach us is what you should be doing when it comes to classes in object-oriented programming. And really what an object is in JavaScript is it's a representation of a larger thing. It's a data representation of a larger thing. So you could imagine, right? If you were the owner of a bookstore, and this is kind of what we did yesterday, right? If you were the owner of a bookstore, you can imagine you would have a class to represent a book. Because a book is a large thing that has a bunch of little things inside it, right? It has page numbers, it has a title, author, it has a price, etc. Right? So you could say, I'm gonna have a class that manages all of my books. And who's this? We got some oh, we got Anita in the building. What's good? Hold on, y'all know what we do for chatters. Y'all know what we do for chatters. Hold on, Anita. We gonna give you some love real quick, Anita. Hold on. What? Hold on, Anita, I got you. Gotta show you some love. Hold on, y'all. We gotta show Anita some love, okay? Y'all know how we do it. Let me see. Let me just get this set up for you, Anita. This for you. This for you, Anita. I need to get faster at this. This is taking way too long. Alright, hang on, Anita. We got you. We got you. Alright, this for Anita. Welcome to the chat. Welcome to the chat. Welcome, Anita, to the chat. Let's go. We got Anita in the building. We got Anita in the building. Let's go. Let's go. Welcome to the computer lab. Welcome to the computer lab, Anita. It's good to see you. Good to have you in the computer lab with us today. Yes, yes, yes. Okay. Always good to get a new person in the computer lab. All right. Hopefully you are doing well. Hopefully your day is going good. I know mine is. I've had a great day so far. All right, so let's get back to our recipe manager. So we were talking about the concept of like when to use a class, right? And the way I like to think about it is if I have some kind of object of data or some kind of just bundle of data that I need to manage, I'm gonna make a class, right? So in this case, our object is obviously a recipe. We need to be able to manage recipes, and that means things like I want to be able to add a recipe. I want to be able to display a recipe. Like I want to be able to say, show me the recipe to, and then enter some kind of recipe name, right? I want to be able to search my recipes, right? Give me a recipe name, I'll find it for you in the system. So that leads me to this next thing, right? Let's come up with the challenges. And I think one challenge would be to search by keyword, right? I think that's a really good challenge. And what I mean by that is one of the requirements for this is we should be able to search for recipes, but what this is really asking us to do is do a one-to-one search. So let's say we had a recipe for key lime pie in our system right now, right? So I should be able to search for key lime pie and get that exact recipe. However, we'll say if we land on this challenge, which is search by keyword, I should be able to search for the word lime and get key lime pie. And let's say I had something else like a lime tart, right? Like or like I don't know, what else is with lime? A lime margarita or something, I don't know. If we had any other recipe in our system that had the keyword lime, I should get back all of those results. So that's what we'll do. We'll do a search by keyword. Another one I want to do is a manage multiple, because what this challenge is asking us to do is to be able to like add and remove. That's what save their favorite recipes for later means, right? I should be able to add a recipe to the system and I should be able to remove a recipe from the system. But we're going to kick that up a notch. We're going to say that if we land on this one, we have to be able to add a bunch of them at once, right? So I can add one at a time, but if I have more than one, I should be able to add a bunch of them, right? Another one we will add, let's think. Okay, so we have a recipe manager that we're building. What other things can we do? Let's see. I think remove is already on here, yeah. So we're gonna be able to search by. Oh, let's say search. Let's say advanced search. Right, and what this means is that right now what we were going to do is be able to search by what the ingredient name is, right? So if the ingredient, not ingredient, we were going to search by what the recipe name was. So if the recipe was a key lime pie, we'd be able to search key lime pie and get a result. Well, if we land on advanced search as the challenge, we should be able to search for an ingredient. Like let's say we search for I don't know, pie crust. If that's one of the ingredients of key lime pie, then we should get key lime pie back, because one of the things that apps do today that I think is really cool, especially with some of these apps that help you like food plan, they allow you to search for, they allow you to ask like, hey, all I have in my cabinet is some ground beef, some green peppers, and I got some mozzarella cheese and olive oil. What can I make with that? And then it'll be dope if our system return to us like all of the things in our system that requires any of those ingredients. So that could be real fun. All right, let's think of some other stuff. What else can we do to make this a little more complicated for ourselves? Let's see. What else can we do? Oh man, I'm running out of ideas here. This is actually a really easy. This is a really easy challenge, to be honest. I don't know why I have this as intermediate, but I guess. Oh, okay. How about this? Get a random. I'll just say randomize. Random recipe. Can that fit? Yeah. So we'll say random recipe. So what this one will be? This challenge will be basically. As we add recipes to our cookbook, let's call it, that's what this really is we're creating a cookbook. As we add recipes, wouldn't it be cool if you said, look, I don't know what I want for dinner tonight. I want you to pick it for me. So it should be able to go through all the recipes that you've provided and send you back a random one, right? One random recipe from your list. All right, so we need one more challenge, guys. We always do 5 challenges. We need one more challenge, and this time we need something that'll make it a little easier for us. So we'll say, how about this? If we, let's say if we land on this, we'll say no search, meaning that we can, all we are on the hook for is what the challenge asks us to do, and we can ignore the search for recipes thing. So all we have to do is the view, save, etc. Right? So that's going to be our challenges. All right, we have search by keyword, so more advanced searching, manage multiple, meaning that I can add a bunch, delete a bunch, advanced searching, random recipe generation, and then not generation, but random recipe retrieval, and then one that'll help us out is exclude the search. So we're gonna shuffle these up. All right, time to shuffle these up. All right, let's get some music going. All right, let's spin it. Let's spin it. Come on, nothing hard, nothing too hard. I only got 30 minutes tonight. All right, manage multiple. That's not too bad. That's not too bad. Okay, I'm okay with that. So we have to create the ability. We have to create the ability to allow our system. We have to allow our system to be able to say, I can add 1 recipe at a time, or I can give you 10 recipes, and I want you to add all 10 of them to my cookbook. All right, and then another requirement that I'm going to give us is that the cookbook needs to always be in alphabetical order. Okay, so let's start. You guys know the drill. Let's go ahead and pop open this code editor. Okay, we're going to start a new React application like we always do. All right, so where is my editor? Okay, so we got a new VS Code here. Go ahead and open a new terminal window. That is not what we want. Okay, so that works. All right, so this is our online bookstore from yesterday. We're not going to keep this though. We are just using this to create our new project, which is actually I'm not going to create a new project this time because I'm going to commit both of these back to the overall code base anyway. So I'll just keep these two files in the same place. We'll add a new component here and call it the recipe manager. No, let's just call it the cookbook. That's what it is, right? It's a cookbook. All right, so let's set this up a little cleaner. Let's get some of this stuff out the way. All right, so now let's think about what we're on the hook for, right? That's always how you want to start these as a developer. What are you going to be on the hook for creating? Okay, so the first thing we need to do is create a recipe object, right? So create a recipe object, and it should probably have a name, like the name of the recipe, the array of ingredients. It should have instructions, like what do you have to do to cook the meal, and then what else would it have? I think a category. So like, is it a dessert? Is it a dinner? Right? And then we can get more fancy if we wanted to add things like the total calories. We can add things like, is it healthy? Is it a snack? Is it a dinner? I mean, not a dinner or a snack. Actually, that's the category. Is it healthy would be another one. I think. Oh, difficulty would be another category as well. We're not going to do all that for this because if you ever do want to extend this to make a full cookbook, you can always just add those properties. The next thing we would need to do is create a recipe, like a cookbook manager class, right? So it's going to be like cookbook manager class. Okay, and that needs to be able to add recipes, add and remove recipes. It needs to be able to randomly pick a meal. That's one of our challenges. It needs to be able to search for recipes, right? And then obviously it needs to be able to display all recipes, right? If this is a book, then we should be able to see everything. All right, and I think that's really all we're on the hook for, right? We have to create the recipe object, and then we have to create the class that actually manages our cookbook. Okay, so our cookbook is just going to be a place where we house a bunch of recipes. So the first thing we would do here is we'll add our interface. So it's going to be interface recipe, and it's going to have a name, right? And we don't need commas after that. An array of strings. Yep, it's going to be ingredients, which is our array of strings. It's going to have instructions, which is also an array of strings. Right? We could say that this is one string, but I like this being an array because then on the front end you can easily order it 1, 2. Like thing number one that you have to do, crack your eggs and beat them in a bowl. Thing number 2, mix in all your other flour and stuff. You know what I mean? So like, let's make instructions an array of strings, and then category. What I want to do for category is I want to say that it can only be a set of things. So this can only be breakfast or lunch or dinner. Okay, that's it. That's all you can have here. If it's not one of these three, then technically you didn't meet the requirements for a recipe object. All right, so that looks good. The next thing we'll do is we will create our cookbook manager. Let's see what our AI has done for us. I love this because it usually gets it spot on. So it's giving us an array of recipes, and it's going to give us an add recipe singular, and it's going to give us an add recipe plural. So right off the bat, I know I want some of this, but this is why it's important to also know what you're doing, because you can go with this, but this is a little redundant, right? These two methods are basically doing the same thing. The only difference is that when there's an array of recipes like this one, then when there's an array of recipes, then you want to concatenate, right? You want to basically say, take whatever is currently in my recipes array and just shove all these new ones in there. We don't want to do that though, right? Because in some cases we're not going to get an array of recipes. In some cases we'll get just a single recipe. So we do want to do this, right? We always want to add recipes. But in some cases we want recipes to just be singular, right? So sometimes this is just one object. And what we'll do here is we're going to still do this, but we're going to say if, basically if recipes, no, it's going to be if array dot is array recipes, then I want to do, yep, exactly, right? I want to say, no, not that. I want to do this. It's going to be recipes, whoops. Yeah, it's going to be recipes dot for each recipe. Nope, not that either. See, that's why you need to know the code. It's gonna be recipe, and then it's just gonna be this push, right? Push into the global recipes method, and that's it. Yeah, that should be it. Right. So now we're saying for each recipe in the array, well, actually, I'm just going to do this for that. And then here, what we'll do is we'll do an else here. So if it's an array, then I want to concatenate the full array of recipes. Otherwise, I don't even know what I was just thinking, right? Otherwise, we just have to push the one recipe. So if it's an array, meaning I have a bunch of recipes, I'm going to push all of them. I mean, I'm going to concatenate all of them back to the main recipes array. Otherwise, I'm just pushing a single recipe in. So this is way more optimal. I was going to do a for each and then do this in a for each, but you don't have to do that. You can just use concat, right? ES6 concat. All right, so yep, add recipes. We're going to say this is optionally plural, right? So add recipes to store. Then this next one, let's just do a display recipes method. And display recipes will do what, right? I think it's just going to log out each of the recipes. So let's say it's going to be like console.log, and it's going to be like recipes, okay? And then, whoops. And then here it's going to, I think we do want the for each here. And let's say what we want to see is we want to see the, how about we see the recipe, the number of ingredients, number of steps, and the category. I think that's a fair breakdown, right? So we'll say, we'll do this for each, right? But we're going to let's think about what we want to see, right? So we'll say it's going to be the number of, the recipe itself. Should I do this like this? I think I could just stack these actually. How do I want to do this? Let's actually tab these and say the first thing we want is the recipe itself. Then the next thing we want is the number of ingredients. Okay. And then after the number of ingredients, we want the number of steps. And then last but not least, we want the category. All right, so let's just first see what this looks like. I'm gonna get rid of this guy. I'll get rid of the sidebar as well. Let's play this out. So we're gonna create a new, we're gonna say const cookbook is equal to new cookbook manager. Okay, and then I'm gonna do cookbook. Well, first we need to add us some recipes. So let's say cookbook dot add recipes is equal to an array of multiple recipes, right? So we'll say first object. Yep, they just gave it to us. I don't know if you guys saw that, but there we go. Look at that. They gave us a bunch of recipes. Look at that. That is awesome. This is a little AI tool I use called Tab9. Make sure you guys grab that. Let me update the stream data with what we're doing here. I forgot to do that. So we are doing manage multiple. Let me update that challenge real. Fortune. Manage multiple. All right, I gotta check something real quick, guys. Give me 1 second. Actually, let's stack those. Okay. All right, and then now let's. All right, so let's get off of here. Let's go back to the IDE. All right, so we're gonna do manage multiple. All right, I think we're good. I think we're in a good place. We have a bunch of recipes here now. This was our. We got two Chinese. We got two pineapple pizzas. Sandwich maybe. There we go. All right, and then that's enough. Three's enough. Three's enough. Three's a crowd, right? All right. So now that we have that, we should be able to do cookbook.display recipes, and have a syntax error. Not sure what that's referring to. We must have an import in here. An export maybe. That's not true. Where though? Where is this? I don't see export in here. Oh, there it is. We did have one at the very, very top. All right. Get rid of that. Play this out. And there we go. So we have our fake thing. I think we need a space in there somewhere. So I am going to... So a recipe, and then here, let's do this. Let's say, let's do this. There we go. So now that should be spaced out correctly. So you have recipe, yeah, recipe, and then, so this is gonna be the name of the recipe, and then the number of ingredients, number of steps, category. Eventually we'll make this be the full breakdown of the ingredients and a full breakdown of the steps, but we don't have to do that now. So everything's working good so far. So display recipes. All right, so we're good there. The next thing we want to do is to be able to remove multiple recipes. So let's say remove recipes from store. Let's see what they give us here. Yep, that looks good. And then actually, no, that's not how we want to do it. I do want to say that you can give us multiple recipes, but the way I want to remove them is probably a little different, right? I want to be able to remove them by names. So in here, what we're saying is I'm going to loop over each recipe. And then, why are they doing that? It should just be this again. Right? Because if they give me a single recipe, I kind of want to do the exact same thing. I want to go through the array and remove one of these recipes. A recipe.name. We shouldn't call this. Yeah, this is fine. This is fine to be called recipe. Actually, this is wrong, right? Well, we don't need the recipe. We need name string, right? We just need the name that we want to get rid of. So here we don't need this either. All we're doing is this in this method. Actually, we're going to say this is an array of strings because you could give us an array. So we'll say if array.isArray name. So if you did give me a bunch of names, then I do want to do this a little different. So here we go. So that's exactly right. I want to say only return the things where name is not in my array at all. And then if it's not an array, right? So otherwise, I just will do the targeted removal, right? I'll just say if not recipe.name, right? So if this is the name you want to get rid of, I'll get rid of it. All right, let's go ahead and test that. So one of our, actually, let's fix these too. So we know that these are recipe.name. This is recipe.ingredients.length because we want the count, right? And then this is the number of steps. So this is that dot. I think I just called it steps, right? No instructions. And then this is category. There we go. All right, let's actually get rid of this and make sure this works. All right, so we got pizza, and then we have the 3 steps. We're gonna break those out into like a bulleted list or something. Hang on, guys. I'll be right back. I gotta make sure of something real quick. Bear with me. I won't do that. What I'll do. I have been getting blown up. All right, guys, it looks like I'm gonna have to sign off for the night. The other thing I have to do just started, so told you it's gonna be a quick stream. We almost done though. I'll try and log back on tonight. If not, see